everybody, welcome back. Guess what? The Spring to Spring event, courtesy of Unitrend US, your UNI-T professional benchtop experts, has officially begun. Yes, we are springing into spring with an exclusive week full of UNI-T benchtop goodness. Starting things off, we have this awesome little function waveform generator, the UNI-T UTG962E. Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute.
UNI-T UTG962E.
The UNI-T UTG962E Function Arbitrary Waveform Generator, 60 megahertz. This little device definitely has some power. Part of the UTG900 series. What do you get in the box? Well, good question. Let's take a look at the box and see exactly what we're getting. Here we got our standard UNI-T documents download operation guide. It tells us where to download the user manual because the manual is now in electronic format. Simple to do, bada boom, bada bing. You get two standard cables with your function generator. You get a BNC cable as well as a BNC alligator clip cable, which I've got right here. So definitely comes in handy and dandy. Of course, you get that nice AC to USB-A power cord because this does not take much to power up. DC 5 volts. 2 amps is all it takes to get this function generator on the go. I'm telling you, it might be small. Yes, I can fit it in my hand, but it also has a really, really big display screen. As I mentioned, that nice 4.3-inch TFT color display. Oh, that is just gorgeous. Well, will be when I turn it on, promise. On-off switch is located on the side. Easy breezy access, that I like. And just so you know, if you open up this baby, you're gonna avoid that warranty. Another really nice feature with this function generator is those soft touch buttons. Very, very nice, very tactile, and you have a really great control knob here. Gives you a lot of feedback. So, oh, I could just touch these all day long. I'll be right back. Oh. It's a little function generator, but it's pretty big on features. Has a frequency output of 60 megahertz, full band resolution of up to 1 microhertz. Uses direct digital synthesis, they call it DDS method, sampling rate of 200 milliseconds, and a vertical resolution of 14 bits. So, I mean, all in all, considering it's compact, it's relatively tiny, it's going to take up next to no space on your benchtop. And heck, if you want to put this in a travel case and carry it on site if you need be, you certainly can. Wow. Almost forgot you can connect this little guy to a computer via the USB interface right there. Now it's a small unit, but look at all of that ventilation. All of that passive warm air is going to be vented through those cutouts. Great, great attention to detail, UNI-T. And even though it's compact, it has a dual channel support, channel 1 and channel 2 outputs right there. Over here is our sync output and port frequency counter input port, as well as the external digital modulation interface. Whoa, that's a mouthful. Okay, let's boot up and we get that nice UNI-T logon, and boom, that is fast. What, a couple of seconds tops. Channel 1 and channel 2 displaying by default. And right away, you can see at the bottom, you have your selection of waveforms: sine wave, square wave, pulse wave. You got it all right there, verbose, right after boot up. That I like. Starting things off with the little UTG962E, I have it set to channel 1, and I have enabled that channel simply by selecting that channel switch. You've got channel 1, channel 2 over here. Turning it on, channel 1. Just remember, you have to turn the channels on manually. Just because you turn on the function generator does not invoke the channels. So here I've chosen channel 1, and we have a really nice looking sine wave. Frequency right now, 100,000 kilohertz, 2 volts peak to peak, and you can see it is definitely a good looking sine wave. Now, you know what? Let's try a different waveform, shall we? Let's try a square wave. And here we are now in the square wave. And once again, man, that looks darn near perfect. 2 volts peak to peak. Let's try a ramp wave now, and same thing. Man, oh man, looking good. So you can see just how easy it is to generate those waveforms with this function generator. I mean, it's just doesn't get much simpler than that, does it? And it just works. You know, sometimes you'll have these function generators come along and they sound great, but good luck trying to get that output going. It could be a real nightmare. Not so with the UTG962. Beauty. And don't think because it's a small function generator that, you know, you're sort of limited by its size. You're not. It actually does some pretty complex things. For instance, you can even test the sync function with sweep mode, which is rather interesting. So yeah, a little goes a long way with this function generator. Filter on an oscilloscope, for instance, and you want a device that can generate a Bode plot. Well, guess what? You can. Here we are looking at the software version 3.06, hardware 1.01. Now, simply to get out of that, click on the OK button, and that brings us back to another settings option. Here we have backlight, screensaver, other presets. Backlight, kind of important depending on what your needs are. You can bring it all the way down to 10%, and I just find that a little bit low. I like to keep it probably about the 70% mark. Seems to work for me. Connectivity to those BNC cables is solid. Metal on metal, no plastic going on here. Nice. Changing those waveform settings, honestly, it doesn't get much easier than this. Frequency, amplitude, offset, phase, duty cycle, the whole 9 yards, all easy breezy, simple enough to change. Want to change the frequency, simply use your rotation knob over here, as well as the left and right arrows. Definitely user-friendly. The UTG962E also acts as a frequency counter. Yes, it can measure the duty ratio and frequency of any TTL-compatible level signal. Frequency range goes from, what does it go from? I know it goes up to 100 megahertz, so pretty high. When we use the frequency counter function, compatible level signal inputs through an external digital modulation or frequency counter interface. In this case, we're using the sync connector out on the side of the unit. And there it is. So we have our channel 1 and channel 2 outputs, and at the very top we have that sync output as well. So that's what we're connected to for the frequency counter. From here, simply choose the counter selection, and bada boom, bada bing, there is our frequency. Right now we're sitting at 1.6 kilohertz. Let's bring it up. We should be at around 11 kilohertz, and we're pretty darn close. Take it up one more time. Should be around 100 kilohertz, and finally 1 megahertz. And there you are, 42.15% duty cycle. So pretty neat, lots of functionality with this little I think one of the biggest benefits with this model is the fact that it's just so darn easy to use. I mean, look, if you want to change your amplitude, there's your options. Volts RMS, volts peak to peak. I mean, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Same with the offset, low, high. Yeah. So simplicity, this thing has it nailed. Another cool feature is that arbitrary waveform. Just click on that, click on wave files, and you have a bunch of internal wave files already stored on the UTG962E. Isn't that cool? I mean, look at them here. Even something to mimic an ECG from an electrocardiogram. I mean, for real. Tons of stored wave files. So I'm telling you, you can have a lot of fun with this. And I just couldn't resist checking out that ECG on the oscilloscope. Man, that is just sweet. Oh yeah, I could do this all day. Doing a teardown right now. Look at that shielding. Oh wow, that is blocking the analog side of the board. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But man, shielding is probably one of the main reasons why this function generator performs so well. Here we go with the display side of the board, and look at that. Look at that. That's probably what is powering the display drivers themselves. Nice attention to detail. We even have a golden blazoned UNI-T. Gotta love it. Processor here is the GD32F207. That is part of the M32-bit processing core. Ooh, it's a RISC processor. Operates at 122 megahertz, and man, it is a darn good CPU for this machine. Right on top of that, we have the ribbon cable, which attaches to the front of the display. Oh, they tried, but they can't hide it from us. No. We're looking at the WinBond W9825G6KH. And believe it or not, it's a high-speed, synchronous, dynamic, random access memory module. Basically an SD RAM. Ooh. And up the upper side of the board, we have our speaker, piezo. Looks like TDK is the manufacturer. And over that, we have, looks like a little bit of flux here, a little bit of flux residue. Every other part of this board is stellar, but yeah, a little bit of flux going on just over there. Okay, let's take a look at the analog side of things. Quality here, UNI-T has done a real stand-up job. I'm telling you, they have not cut corners at all on this test instrument. Great job. Hiding under that ribbon cable, I believe we've got a couple of digital analog converters. They have been etched out. It was really hard to get a model number, but I think that's what we're looking at. Once again, some great quality components here. These are Omron G6Ks, surface-mounted relays. Nothing was spared here. They're using really good quality components through and through on this test instrument. It's just awesome to see. All right, I'm going to put everything back together, come back with my closing thoughts. Closing thoughts on UNI-T UTG962E Function Waveform Generator. Oh yes, this is definitely a keeper. What can you say? This little function generator does it all. Man, it can be as technical or as simple to use as you choose. Hey, I love the fact that you've got a lot of power under this little hood there if you need it. And if you don't, if you just want some simple basic usability, you can do that too. Stellar build quality and superior performance means this one should be on your short list when you're looking for a waveform generator. If I had anything negative to say, probably just the screensaver, the fact that it sometimes goes blank, times out. Let's face it, it's a screensaver, right? But you can do that in the middle of an operation, so, sometimes it's a little bit of a pain, but hey, that is really nitpicking. No, all in all, this is one great test instrument that is not only professional, but fun to use. UNI-T UTG962E gets a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Hey, thanks so much for watching this review, everybody. And a big thanks out to UNITRAINUS.com. Thanks so much for sending it in for this review. And thanks so much for giving us this great UNI-T week. We couldn't have done it without you. Hey, if you need anything benchtop related, UNI-T related, check out UNITRAINUS.com. Till the next one, keep on testing.